In this video, we'll learn to create a simple radio button here in Figma. On the toolbar, I'll select the ellipse tool and I'll create an ellipse that is 6 by 6 pixels. I'll select it, and with a right click, I'll add an auto layout. Okay. Now, I'll set a fixed width and height for this auto layout. I'll change the width to 10 pixels and the height also to 10 pixels. Here in the auto layout section, I'll change the alignment to this center position. And I'll add a fill so we can see it. I'll use a red fill for now. Add a black stroke. I'll change it from inside to outside. Keep it at 1 pixel, and for the corner radius, I'll set it to 30 pixels. And now, I'll select this ellipse here and change it to black. Now we can remove this red fill. And great, we have a radio button. I'll rename it to radio, and now I'll create a component from this radio. So I'll click this icon here and click again to create a variant. So we have 2 variants of this component. I'll go ahead and rename this first variant to initial, and I'll change the name of this second variant to selected. Alright, on this radio button, which is the initial state, I'll select the inner ellipse and set its opacity to 0. So, only the circle with the stroke is visible. I'll go over to the Assets tab, drag this component onto our workspace, and now, with the text tool, I'll create the text that will be part of our radio button. Okay, I'll change its color here to black. I'll select both elements, and with a right click, add an auto layout. I'll rename this element to item, and I'll drag and drop this spacing of 15 pixels to reduce it to 5 pixels. Great. We have our item here, our radio button block. We'll need 3 options, right? So let's start working on our block with more radio button options. Now, let's create a component from this item, and I'll create a variant. On this first option, this first variant, I'll give an opacity. So here on the layer, I'll change it from 100 to 50, okay? And once it's selected, when someone clicks it, it will have 100% opacity, and we'll click on this ellipse and change it from initial to selected. Great. Now, I'll do the same thing here on the Prototype tab. I'll drag and drop from the plus sign to the second variant. Keep the on-click interaction and keep the same settings we set for our radio button. I'll do the same thing from the second variant to the first. Okay, so we have our 2 components here. I'll go back to the Design tab. Now I'll drag this second component we created, and by holding Alt, I'll drag and drop it down vertically. And with Command D, I'll repeat that action. Okay, now I'll select all the elements, right-click, and add an auto layout. For the fill, I'll add a white fill, and now we'll adjust the side and vertical spacing. So, here for the horizontal padding, I'll apply a spacing of 10 pixels, and for the vertical padding, I'll also set it to 10 pixels. And for the corner radius, I'll set it to 10 pixels. It looks good, okay. For the spacing between elements, I'll set it to 5 pixels, which I think will also look good. And that's basically it. I'll rename it to Radio Buttons Box. And we have our box with radio button options. Now we can change the text to Option 1, Option 2, and Option 3. Let's select this box and create a component from it. This box will need a few variants, so I'll click here again, add a variant, and I'll click the plus sign 1 and 2 more times. So, all right, let's start working on the interaction of these components. So, starting with the second variant, we'll change the option from default to the second variant, which is the selected variant of our item. So, okay, I'll do this for option 1. On this third variant, I'll also change it to variant 2, and here on the third one as well. So it'll look like this. On the first variant, they'll all be deactivated. On this second variant, only option 1 will be activated. Here, option 2, and here, option 3. Now, let's start working on the click interaction on each option. So let's go. I'll switch to the Prototype tab. And I'll drag here. I'll double-click. Select only option 1 of our radio button. I'll drag this plus sign to this second variant, which is where this option is selected. So I'll keep the on-click interaction, Smart Animate, Ease Out, and 200 milliseconds. And I'll do the same thing here with option 2. I'll select which variant it's selected in. Okay. And with option 3 here as well. All right. And I'll continue doing the same thing with the options that are not selected yet. So we have option 2 here, option 3. Okay. Here we have option 1 and option 3. And on this last variant, we have option 1 and option 2. Basically, that's it. It's very simple, right? So I'll go back here to the design option. I'll create a frame so we can test this component. I'll change it to a dark gray. And here in the Assets tab, I'll drag and drop this radio buttons box onto our frame. Let's test it. We have our radio button box in the initial state. And when I click on an option, it will change to the selected version. And if I click on another option, it will make that change here. Well, that was it for today's video. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, leave a like to help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to get the next tips. Thanks, and see you next time.